Hey guys, how you doing? I'm back. I am playing Met Center here in Austin, Texas today. It's a beautiful morning in early summer in Central Texas, and we're gonna see if we can get around this course. I gotta be honest, not a huge fan of this course. I don't normally play well here. It tends to be wet. A lot of long throws, a lot of tough holes. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just a big wuss. But not a huge fan of this course, but we're gonna see if we can get around today in a decent number. I'm feeling good. I think my throws have been good. Been putting better lately, so we're gonna give it a try. This is no pictures on the scorecard. Okay, so the first hole out here at Met Center is a par 4 of 533 feet. I've got my Hades in my hand here. And you got to get this to kind of move to the left a little bit and then straighten out and go into the basket. This isn't a terrible throw. Not a terrible throw off the tee. I've got 291 feet from here. The basket is basically through these trees. So I'm going to try to throw something flippy and see if I can't snake my way through these trees and get up there close for a birdie look. So I've got a Shrike in my hand here. I'm trying to take this basically straight at the basket. I probably could have gone out to the left here with a more stable disc and gotten the same result, but this doesn't turn out too bad. Yeah, I apologize for the noise here. This course sits in an industrial area, so it's noisy these first few holes. It'll go away though, I promise. Alright, so I'm sitting here at about 165 feet. I've got my overstable mid-range verdict in my hand here. And actually I threw a pretty good throw here. Probably could have thrown it a little bit harder, but it's not terrible. All right, so this is a dogleg left par 4. Basically, you want to get past this little set of guardian trees, and then that gives you, if you can do that, it gives you basically a straight look at the basket. Basket has water behind it, so you have to be really careful on that upshot. So I'm just gonna basically just try to throw something past these trees. I've got my trusty trespass in my hands here on the forehand. I kind of throw this a little higher than I'd like. So it ends up hyzering out a little bit, increasing the distance on my second shot, but it's not terrible. Yeah, so that one got up in the air a little bit. Not a terrible throw. I'm not warmed up yet, so I'm not throwing super hard or anything yet. Just trying to make pars for now. When I get to like the 4th, 5th, 6th holes, that's where you really need to kind of open your arm up a little bit. So right now I'm just kind of getting warmed up. From 360 feet out, I'm trying to go basically max distance on this. I've got my D model US. I don't throw a bad shot. As I'm building my arm, I'm taking more aggressive lines. But that wasn't terrible. I'm left here with 174 feet. I've got an Entropy. It's a kind of overstable putter. And I'm just throwing this to get close, and I throw it out to the right a little more than I would have liked and kind of put myself in a weird spot. Yeah, so I guess you could say I'm in a little bit of trouble. My disc is right there. The basket is right there. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna find a stance and see if I can't make this putt. So from that last view, you probably saw there is a gap here. I've got kind of a weird stance and a weird swing at this. From about 23 feet, and I convert it, save the par. I like that putt. I'm pretty proud of that putt. Really good par on that hole. Definitely take that. I'm even through 2, which isn't bad out here for me. And I've got a little short hole coming up that I have birdied before, so hopefully I can do it again. So there are 2 schools of thoughts on this hole. Ball golf teaches us to never aim at trouble. The problem with that out here is you're never entirely sure what kind of skip your disc is going to take. So while I can certainly see the benefit of playing a right-hand backhand here, just taking it out wide and let it hyzer back toward the basket, if you get a weird bounce or your disc gets up on edge and starts rolling, it could easily roll into the creek on the left here. My way of playing this is kind of counterintuitive to ball golf, in that I'm going to take my forehand, I'm basically going to hang my disc out over the creek and let it hyzer back toward the basket. And that way, if it does take a weird bounce, it's bouncing away from trouble. That's my thought. That's how I play this hole. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The basket is sitting right down there. This isn't a very long hole, as you saw from the placard. I've got my verdict in my hand here, throwing a forehand. And like I said, I'm just trying to hang this out over the creek a little bit and let it hyzer into the basket, and I throw a really good shot. My disc starts rolling a little bit, but it does come to a stop right by the basket. As you can see, I've got no more than 5 feet for a birdie, and I'm 1 under. This is kind of unusual. I've been playing here a long time, and I don't think I've ever seen the water this low here. It does make for an easier course to play when it's dry out here, but it says something about our climate, I think. A little par 4 here. You can see I've got a Mando right there on this tree right here. So basically you just want to play down this tunnel. It's not the best shot shape for a forehand player, but only because you kind of have to push it out to the left a little bit to let your disc hyzer back to the right, and there's not much room on the left. As you can see, there's some trees up there. So what I like to do is try to throw something relatively flat, or even something to flip up down the right side of this fairway, let it flip up and open some space up to the left, and then come back on its hyzer. What I meant to say is this is a weird hole for a forehand if you don't have a really super powerful forehand, which I do not. I've got my Shrike here. Trying to get this to flip up, and I get it to do exactly what I'm looking at. It ends up kind of in the right side of the fairway, but I've got a good angle at the basket. So as is my tradition when I'm playing well and scoring well, I like to keep my seconds apiece short. So guys, we're going to take a really quick 5 seconds apiece. So my disc found its way into this drainage disc. The basket is right there at 189 feet away. I've got a verdict in my hand, overstable mid-range. Throw a really good shot here, and hang up on the edge and have a look at a birdie. So similar to my philosophy on the last hole, I threw a stable mid-range there. Wasn't trying to throw it super hard, but just hard enough to get it to fly flat for a while, and then when it did start hyzering, get it to hyzer away from the trouble. And I think I'm okay. I don't think I rolled into any trouble, so I think I'm okay. You can see my disc ended up dangerously close to where trouble would be if there were water out here on the course, but there's not. So I've got this look from about 32 feet, and I just miss it. I just threw it a little low. It caught some iron and dropped down. But that's a pretty easy par. You know, I like pars where I don't have to think too hard or work too hard. You just drop it in the basket. In my opinion, these next 3 holes are among the hardest on the course. As you can see, this is a par 4 of over 500 feet. Not really looking to birdie this hole. I do throw this a little poorly, but it doesn't really hurt me. So I kind of didn't push this far enough up to really go at this green. I've got 324 from here. My disc is laying right there. So I'm really just playing for par. I didn't throw a good enough tee shot to really have a real go at this. I mean, I'll try. I'm going to throw it, but I don't have a lot of hope that I'm going to get close enough to have a realistic look at birdie here. So just playing for par. All right, so I've got Trusty Trespass here, and I actually throw this really well. This is an excellent throw for me on my forehand. keep it nice and low and flat, and it hyzers up there within jump putt of the basket. If I didn't have these trees in my way, I'd probably give this a real run. It's only 63 feet, but because I have these trees in my way, I kind of have to throw a kind of an ante putt. Can't really run it. There's no real angle to run this, so I'm just kind of getting this close enough to leave myself basically a drop-in par. It does get away from me a little bit and up about 11 feet away, but I do drop it in for a par with no real problems. Fun fact, this hole actually used to be the first hole of this course. I guess they redesigned it about 2 years ago or so. So instead of starting here, you're playing the 6th hole here. They added some different holes and they kept some of the old holes, but it's a completely different course now for the most part. This hole is tricky. It's a kind of a double dog leg that goes to the right and then comes back left. So you really have to throw something. If you're throwing a right hand forehand, you really have to throw something kind of stable to go down this path right here and get it out into the opening so you have a look at the basket. I haven't really thrown this shot too successfully too many times, but you know, it's always the first time, so let's see if we can pull it off today. This is a pretty stable disc for me, my CD3. I do not throw this well though. It's early released and up in the air and puts me in a bad position. Just FYI, this is not where you want to be. I've got my Justice out, my most stable mid-range, just trying to get myself back into play. And I actually do. I throw a decent shot here and give myself a chance to make par. So where that second throw just ended up is ideally where I'd like my tee shots to start ending up someday. I feel like I'm right on the verge of it happening, and if I keep playing and keep practicing and stay with it, I'm sure I could accomplish this throw by the time I'm 86 years old. You can see that if you put your tee shot here, you'd actually have a really makeable birdie shot. All you have to do is throw the upshot and give yourself a look. I get a little grip lock on this and it doesn't hyzer back the way I'm hoping and leaves me a little tester of about 27 feet for par. As you can see, I was a little frustrated with that putt. Just didn't even draw a metal, just threw it right over the basket. Just threw it a little nose up, and I need to be better on those circle one putts. I do miss a bunch of them. I'm better, but I do miss a bunch of them. So back to even through 6. I can remember when I couldn't reach this hole in 2 or get anywhere near it, not even within 100 feet. So definitely I've improved over the past couple years that I've been playing, because I can get within jump putt range of this hole now. This is a really good tee shot I throw here. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, not a bad tee shot there on the 7th hole here. I threw that pretty much the way I wanted to, and that's really all you can ask for. So I'm hopeful to make a par on this hole. It's not really a birdie hole for me, not yet. I've got to get a few more feet of power before I'll really have a chance at birdieing this hole, but I'll definitely take a par on it, and I'm even through 6, so that's not terrible. I was kind of undecided on what disc I should throw here. I finally settled on a more stable D-Model US. It's more stable than my Trespass for me, and I throw a really good shot here. I'm pretty happy with where this ends up. Aside from being behind a tree, it's actually a really good shot. So I've got 78 feet here. Not getting super aggressive with this putt because the basket sits on this berm. Just trying to lay it up there close and take an easy par. So this is a tricky hole for a righty forehand player. You have to really bomb one to get past these trees right here. The basket sits down to the right of those trees. So you'd have to really smoke one to get past that, or you can lay up short and try to play over or around those trees on your second shot, which usually is a blind shot, so not the best option. So I'm kind of torn on this hole. I don't exactly know what to do. I'll probably just throw some sort of fairway driver, try to get it out in this this patch of fairway right here, and then play into the basket from there. As you can see, I've got my understable Shrike in my hand here. I'm really just trying to get this to move left a little bit and then come hyzer back right a touch, and I throw a good one here. I'm really happy with that. Hey guys, while I'm thinking about it, I want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking your time to give me your attention, and I appreciate it very much. I also want to encourage you to not crush or not stomp or not smash. Let's give the like and subscribe buttons a lover's caress, a gentle sweep of our fingers along their cheeks for old Todd at No Pictures on the scorecard. Go ahead. I'll bet they'll like it. For someone with my power, in other words, someone who can't throw it further, this is actually position A on this hole. I've got my putter in my hand from 162 feet. I'm just trying to get this basically close to the basket and make this an easy drop-in birdie. I don't really throw that super well, though. I end up 29 feet from the basket, and if you've watched this channel at all, you know anything outside of 20 feet is no gimme, and anything inside of 20 feet might not be a gimme either. But this is a really good putt, and it goes in for the birdie. All right, so the last hole on the front nine here, it's just a short par 3, dogleg left. Really calls for a righty backhand or lefty forehand, as the case may be. I think I'm still going to try to go forehand and see if I can just get something to kind of fly on an ante, and then flatten out around the basket and land soft, and see if I can't have a look at another birdie. All right, one more time with the Shrike. I'm going to try to get this to just drift left all the way to the basket. I make a pretty good move on this. It goes basically and does what I want it to do, so no complaints there. All right, so as you can see, I put myself at about 63 feet from the basket, jump putt range. I'm going to run this. There's no reason not to, and when it leaves my hand, I think it's going in, and it just catches some metal and bounces off. Well guys, that's the front nine here at Met Center. As you can see, I am 1 under, not playing too badly, throwing a lot of good shots. I'm very happy with where I am right now, so I'm hopeful to keep it going. As with most disc golf courses though, this one starts baring its teeth on the back nine, so there's a lot of golf left in front of me. See if I can hold it together. Guys, I'm Todd. This is No Pictures on the Scorecard. Come back again next week and I'll have some more golf for you.